Hi, my name's Matt Mull. I've lived in Macungie for almost 18 years now and born and raised in Eastern Pennsylvania along with my wife and three daughters. I am a senior commercial operations manager for a local biomedical device company in textiles, and I have a degree in industrial engineering from Penn State. There's quite a few reasons why I want to run for the school board. Both my parents were teachers. My daughter is in college to be an educator as well. And I totally understand the value of a public education. Having said that, I've been very involved in my kids' education. All three are proud graduates of Emmaus High School. And I've always wanted to be a part of the school board. However, I chose for my own reasons to wait until they were out of school so that there would be no conflict of interest or possible favoritism from teachers toward my children. I firmly believe that they should have stood on their own. For some more specific reasons, I'm very involved in the community in a range of different organizations, and especially once we started running this earlier this year, a common thread I heard among both parents and teachers on all sides of the political spectrums was they feel that this administration and school board really isn't listening to the community, that they have their own preset ideas and that a lot of times ideas are really just politely listened to, but the decision was made well ahead of time. As part of being an engineer, I believe in the process and being very transparent and open and being very data-driven and not emotional-driven, and I see that as something lacking from the board in its current state. There's a few issues, some of which are, again, trying to be more data-driven, are looking at the school safety, the number of incidents that's being raised, especially at the high school level where we've had to have the police or the in-house police officer involved or the external police department, as well as just hearing and seeing other incidents of violent behavior or bullying. And apparently there's no clear communication of what those repercussions are to those students that do engage in that behavior, or more importantly, what are they doing actively to prevent that from happening in the future. Another key area is some of the test scores. The fact that we don't have a national merit scholarship this year compared to other school districts in the area with similar demographics, I think speaks volumes. We've seen a number of metrics. I know test scores can be controversial at times, but again, looking at similar school districts in similar situations, their test scores either remaining steady or going up while ours are in decline. And then the third thing, as I mentioned earlier, is really, again, having the community be engaged in the process, letting everyone know on all sides of the political spectrum and personal spectrum that they're heard. It doesn't mean you necessarily agree with everything everyone says or enact what they want, but just being able to get a true balance to the school board that I think is missing right now. There's a few reasons why I chose to run with this group of people as a slate of candidates. First is we do have a pretty diverse point of view. We have some people in finance, some people in education, different ages, different genders, different occupations. Lawrence, as an example, is a relatively new grad. I'm probably the oldest of the team, so bring a little more wisdom that comes with age, hopefully, to the table. But just when we sit down, we're not a straight across the board lockstep in agreement. We have good open-ended discussions, and that's exactly the type of thing that I think that should be expanded in all areas of our school district. The other reason is running as a slate. I know oftentimes people will run individually. This is, for myself, and I believe the other four candidates, the first time any of us have run for public office. So there's some sharing of resources and knowledge. You know, it can be hard to navigate some of the paperwork sometimes on what can and can't be filed and when, things like that. And this just helps, again, building that teamwork or coalition as opposed to everyone doing everything on their own when we all have an overall shared goal. We may disagree on some of the finer points or sometimes the path to get there, but in the end, we all want what's best for the school board and the school district. All three of my children were heavily involved in the school district all the way from kindergarten through graduating high school in a range of activities. Anything from athletics with the swimming program in particular, through the music and drama program, through clubs like journalism and dance, as creative writing and some of the other more traditional liberal arts types clubs as well. So I've always been a part of that and encouraged my children to participate. And because all three of my children are very different, I've gotten very different perspectives over the last 9 years of having kids go through that high school of a variety of different activities and teachers and how those clubs and organizations work. In addition to that, my wife and I have always been very involved with kids. We met as counselors at a youth summer camp. Our children have all gone through that and they've all been counselors now as well. I served on that board for 6 years, and the last year I served as that board president for a mid-sized nonprofit. It's actually the largest summer camp for children east of the Mississippi with over 3,000 acres located outside of Wilkes-Barre. And that has really helped me, again, working my way up through the ranks as a counselor and a camper 30 some years ago, all the way up through now being, having been on the board and having led that organization through a change of leadership. It brings a lot of different perspectives to my history that I hope to be able to apply it to this school board. People can support us in a number of ways. The three main ways, and first and foremost to me, is actually listen and talk to us. You may hear other people say what we're about. You may read something we put out and may not certainly understand it. We're going to have multiple meet and greets. We try to be very available to people. We prefer the face-to-face for that one-on-one interaction because that's really where you get your most detailed information from each of us as candidates. So don't believe what other people say. Don't believe in labels or party tags. Look at who we are and talk to us individually whenever you get the chance. We certainly welcome it. Second is, of course, financially. Unfortunately, running a campaign in today's political environment can be expensive. Doing video shoots like this, signs in the yard, things like that. So please go to our website. Even $5 or $10 helps. Every little bit helps. And then finally, last thing would be, of course, volunteering, whether it be helping us at a meet and greet to set up, helping us go door-to-door knocking, or even, again, just being involved in telling us what you want to hear about it and what your needs and concerns are. Because I, for one, don't come to the table with a preset agenda. I'm mainly here to be process-driven and goal-driven, and I want to hear from the community as to what their needs are so that I can represent them appropriately.